that they call the law. Turn a dude named Champ to the God Akbar. His legend was bigger than anything that was mentioned. No question, he gave the whole hood their first profession. Peace, Akbar. Allah-U-Akbar. Whoa, Allah-U-Akbar. Peace, Akbar. Allah-U-Akbar.
We did a lot of teaching in here when I was living out here. I was living up there on Tapscott Street. I used to leave from Tapscott and walk down here. We had civilization classes down here. Me, the guard Shabar, they call him Little Buddha, and the guard Dullah. We was more or less like the elders for the young brothers that we was teaching out here. We was teaching guards from young brothers from Children Projects, from Van Dyke Projects, from Brownsville houses. And it was said back then that, you know, Brownsville and Tilden, you know, they had a nice little crew that came through. But it was when Van Dyke got it, that's when it really like went up, because Van Dyke had a lot of individuals that were strong in Brownsville. That train every time it came through. But you know, Van Dyke, they had a lot of brothers that was like strong out here. So when Van Dyke, that's Van Dyke right there. When they got it, it was like it really took off there. You know what I'm saying? So we had a lot of civilization classes down here. We did a lot of teaching out here. A lot of respect for the guards out here. The reason why we had it because it was a guard named Akbar, right? Called him Allah-U-Akbar or Akbar-U-Allah. You can see his name right there. His name is still on this.
Back up a little.
On the awning out here.
I see what you say, community.
If you see the movie, if you ever saw the movie, The Education of Sonny Carson, Akbar was in that movie, and he played a gang member. Leader of the Tomahawks back then.
Hey man, what you doing? What you mean by what I'm doing? You just bumped into me. So move out my way when you see me coming by. No, you walk around me. This is Lord's territory. You about walk around. Hey, here's some Lords right here. So what? I'm here too. So what do you mean? Who you with? Who you think I'm with? Who you with, man? The Hawks, sucker. Hey man, this is Lord's territory, and you got 5 seconds to get off. I tell you, you start counting to 5 like a sucker.
And the Tomahawks was a big gang out in Brownsville. They had everything out here locked down. So once Akbar got the knowledge, you know, he left the gang life. A lot of brothers left the gang life with him, and they started becoming 5%ers. A lot of them started getting knowledge of themselves, and that was the reason why Brownsville got a strong history, because a lot of guards, a lot of people left the gang life and started teaching the knowledge. They started that knowledge. And it was a guard named Father Divine. He was a Puerto Rican guard. He was one of the ones that got it from the firstborn. He was a very, very, you know what I'm saying, profound guard, you know, Father Divine. You know, he was from Kenyattah, you know what I mean, beautiful brother. And he taught Akbar word of mouth. He taught him, you know what I'm saying, he would teach him, he would just say it out his mouth, and Akbar remember it, and that's how he got taught. He supposed to have learned his lessons just like that. And when Akbar got the knowledge, after he started teaching, after he realized what his job and what his mission was, he became very proficient and very, you know, strong in getting people jobs. Community control was his thing. You know, he wanted to help the people in the community get jobs so that they wouldn't be out here having to do, you know, the things that, you know, he went through before he found out, you know what I'm saying, how to do the right thing with his life. So he wanted everybody else to do the right thing with their life.
God used to work for Akbar.
So I used to work for him. You know, he had everybody over here getting jobs. If you came home or if you was just somebody that was looking for a job, you know, he had a job for you. He had a job in security. I was doing security for him. I used to do security in Brownsville Recreational Center, and I would do security over there on St. John's and Saratoga, wherever they was doing a lot of building at. You know, they would come from their own communities. These other contractors, they would come from different communities outside of the borough. And there's certain legislation that they have to give a certain amount of this work to people that actually live in the community. So it was told to me that Akbar, he had the paperwork, right, to prove to the people that they had to give us jobs, but they wouldn't give us jobs. So, okay, cool, no problem. So he would rent or buy a school bus and put all of us from the projects inside this school bus And we would all go to these places where they had these jobs, where they were working. We would get on these school buses and go to these places where they were working, and Akbar would once again present the paperwork and let them know, hey man, you gotta give 33% of the people in this community jobs. And they'd be like, man, we ain't giving you nothing. We ain't say, okay, cool, no problem. We all get off the bus and go inside the building, go all the way to the top floor and tell everybody in the building, put all your tools down, put all your machinery down, everything down. You ain't working no more. Y'all, that's it. Y'all done here. And it'd be so many. We thirsty. We need work. We want to, you know what I'm saying, take care of. We got kids. We young. We coming up. We want contract jobs too. We want benefits too. We want all the things that they get into, and we wasn't able to get it. So it's like, yo, you know what? Y'all gonna give us a job, because the mayor told, they told us, look, man, we'll sign the paperwork saying, yeah, man, they gotta give you the work, but we can't get you the jobs. Okay, cool, no problem, don't worry about it, we'll get the job. So after we go in there and tell them to drop the tools, drop everything down, they'll drop them. They'll be like, yo, man, these guys ain't playing no game. And now they'll call the police. Once everybody come out the building, like, hey, man, what the hell is going on? These thugs, they're coming in here, man, and they, hey, man, listen, don't worry, we call the police. So they'll call the police. The police will come. And Akbar tell everybody around, don't say nothing. Let me do the talking from now on. So the police will come, and when they come, Akbar show them the paperwork. Here, man, this is what the paperwork say right here. And the police would take the paperwork and they would look at it, and then they would tell the contractor, yo, look, man, my boss signed this. Because the mayor, he's the boss of the police. Hey, man, look, man, my boss signed this, man. I can't do nothing about that. You know what I mean? If that's what it say, yo, man, we hands off on that. So now the contractor, what do you mean, man? Get these thugs out of it. Nah, man, I can't do nothing. They looking for work, man. What you trying to say? So he'll say, so now the contractor basically will say in so many words, listen, I'm not taking everybody on this bus. I'll take 2 or 3 of y'all and that's it. So whoever has been there for the last 2-3 weeks trying to get work, now they next up. All right, you, and they had people that knew how to do this type of work, electricians. It was called Operation Future when we would come here looking for our jobs, for work. The name of the whole operation was called Operation Future. And the Operation Future was an operation to help our future, so that we would have jobs. And he was instrumental, very instrumental in getting a lot of people work. From what I heard, he had the Metro Tech contract with the security for Metro Tech downtown Brooklyn. Now, it's one thing for us to go through the hood and get a job, but when you go downtown Brooklyn, a whole nother, you know what I'm saying, a whole nother thing. And from what we heard, they wanted him to come down there. Like, they came out here and looked for him and told, yo, we want y'all to come down. Because they knew that if other people got involved, they would bleed the money out the contract and then demand more. But they knew Akbar was a fair person. He was fair. He was fair, and he knew that people wouldn't mess with him. Because he wasn't the only one that went around the community. What's the coalition? It was a bunch of people that went around the community, making people give them work. And if these guys didn't respect, if these other guys that went around the community doing the same thing, making people give them work, if they didn't respect your team, man, they either make you get on their team or they run you out of it.
When they approach you, they say,
the first thing they ask you is, who you work for? When you say Akbar, okay, all right, cool, no problem. But they knew Akbar, he had all these Brownsville dudes, and we was working.
And he put in work himself.
We don't want to do the other thing. We doing this thing right here. Let us stay here and do the right thing. Yeah. Please don't make us have to go to the other thing. You know what I'm saying? Because we can do that too. And they knew that he had them type of people that was running with him. We didn't want to live like that. You know what I'm saying? When we was coming up, we didn't want to live bad. We didn't want to do the wrong thing. But we had no, alternative sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Now when we have the alternative to do the right thing, a lot of people stay with that.
Like you said, brothers knew how to do these jobs.
Yeah, they knew how to do it. A lot of people, they knew how to do them.
They wasn't hiring.
They just wasn't hiring. We wasn't getting good jobs like that. When we was teaching out here, when I was coming out here, we was teaching these little young, wild individuals in the projects. They would come here to the civilization classes at certain times of the day, and we would, give them the lessons. We give them the mathematics, or we ask them what lesson they on. We see if they, we call it slow gases, if they not staying, in tune or, or moving up or upgrading or elevating in their degrees. We got to make sure that they doing that, right? Now, when we was coming out here, none of this was here. This awning wasn't here, wasn't none of this. It might have been a sign up here that said Operation Future. But I'm talking about late 80s, you know, early 90s is when, you know, I was out here teaching. I was doing a lot of teaching. And this wasn't here. None of this was here. This wasn't even these colors. It was just a regular building, and people came here and got jobs. At night on Fridays, I think maybe Saturdays too, you know, this was like a club. People came out here after 9 o'clock in the night, and you know they had a little fun. I mean, it was.
Big Daddy Kane here one night.
Yeah, and when Big Daddy Kane came out here, it was drama. It was drama. It was always drama. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying, as far as the teaching, there was a lot of teaching going on here. Akbar was the one that gave us the key. He gave the guard Shabar the key, the little Buddha Shabar. He gave him the key, and you know what I'm saying. You know, he called up the people that were, you know what I'm saying, qualified to be out here teaching like that, and told us to come out here and assist him with his teaching, because there's a lot of people out here.
And to teach in Brownsville, you have to be a certain way.
Yeah, you gotta be a certain kind of way.
It could be anybody.
Right.
It could be anybody teaching in Brownsville.
Yeah.
Like the guards, these kids are wild out here.
Yeah, and they're very wild.
These kids are wild out here. I'm not from this part of Brownsville. I'm from the other side of Brownsville, on the hill.
Ocean Hill, Brownsville.
And we were teaching out there. And my students would be Shabar students. You know, and I knew Shabar too. Like the guard said, it was out here teaching heavy. Shabar had hundreds of students.
Yeah, a lot of. And we went everywhere.
Him and Duala.
Sometimes we just walked around and just talked.
Yeah, we used to walk the land. We used to walk the land and run to students and stuff. And them little young boys, they was wild out here. But he taught them, civilized them.
And they love Shabar.
They love him. That's what's a lot of love for. You walk around with the flag, there's a lot of love out here. This is Tilden Project right here. Tilden Project right here.
This is where they did Brooklyn Finest at too.
Yeah.
When they killed Wesley Snipes, they killed him down there on that corner. Have you ever watched that movie Brooklyn Finest? They killed Wesley Snipes right down there on that corner.
What's that train station?
This is the 3 train. This is the bonus train.
And when it was in the store,
That's
they killed the police.
Saratoga somewhere down there further down.
When the police killed that little boy,
Saratoga's in the bonus.
that store down there.
On
Or
Saratoga
the
one
movie.
time.
When the
I
police
know,
killed the young boy, that store down there.
What's the MOP from in this area too?
It's on the hill.
On the hill.
Go there.
So that's the history that I, little short history that I can give you on when we was out here teaching and what it
Akbar
was
was
like
about
out here.
community control.
Right.
You know,
Yeah,
because
big
he was
time.
taught, when we got knowledge, he was taught to control our community. Because if you don't, the forces of the community gonna hurt you and your family. Like when we was at my building, we did tenant patrol. We ran the elevators. And we ran the elevators. Every Saturday we cleaned the building. We mopped it, we swept it, and we buffed it. We had buffers. Maintenance managers gave us a key, because they trusted us. They trusted with all that equipment, and we did it every Saturday.
I had a bank account.
We had a bank account in the name of Allah, Banco Popular, in the name of Allah. Till this day, I don't know how the God did that. Like, it was in the name of Allah. And then we used to have civilization classes, and we used to donate money on every Thursday. And when we wanted to go to the movies, we had money. We take kids to the movies, we have parties, and this was community control and stuff. So this was our job as being the guards of that universe. Is control our community, make sure our parents are safe, make sure the ones under us are safer, and make sure ourselves are safe. Because we used to say, control the environment around you. If you don't control the environment around you, the environment could come back and get you. But there's a lot of people in that environment that have to do negative things. And we have to control them, get to know them. They ain't gotta have knowledge of self, but you get to know them, let them get to know you. Because once they get to know you, they're gonna respect you. If you carry yourself a certain way, they're gonna respect you. If you don't carry yourself a certain way, they're not gonna respect you. In order to have attracting power on the planet, you gotta be building positive. If you're not building positive, you're gonna have no attracting power on the planet. Peace.
Whip. Far as fighting, the sucker think he's good. Hey boy, matter of fact, I wish he would. Hey boy, exactly what the fuck I see. Nothing but a little boy who eats the raw meats. It's the Brownsville guards, emphatically yes. How we gon' do it? Gon' do it the best. Never less than guest dressed just to kill. Death to all the enemies who want test to build. Charlie Stumpers, tomahawks, big rumbles within the park. Prediction, the friction come from a spark. Divisions of atoms produce cataclysm, shatter religion, then a law came to master the system. A brother named Putin that they call the law. Turn a dude named Champ to the God Akbar. His legend was bigger than anything that was mentioned. No question, he gave the whole hood their first profession. Peace, Akbar. Allah-U-Akbar. Whoa, Allah-U-Akbar. Peace, Akbar. Allah-U-Akbar. Whoa, Allah-U-Akbar. On a regular day, out to get paid. Akbar up on his horse, but it's not a parade. Kenyattah could say, I bear witness at a young age. Rage, coalition, protest, rage the stage. Focus till you know best. Joe Clark, the principal at your law school. You're the greatest, plus you left a spark too. Beyond the physical, the whole Medina loves you. The cards is missing you. Operation Future, all alone, only with the boosters. Jostlers, looters, fight messages with the scooters. Raheem said nothing but great things. The owner who make things, the king maker, born to make king. My step pops with Dubois Divine, the two of a kind ministers, born to spill the truth on his mind, in line with the divine order. Time I ride the same water. Kenyattah destroying the lame talkers. Peace, Akbar. Allah-U-Akbar. Whoa, Allah-U-Akbar. Peace, Akbar. Allah-U-Akbar. Whoa, Allah-U-Akbar.
That's right.
This video was brought to you by the 5% Nation and H-Medina and the H-Medina Media Group.
You understand? That's right.